Special edition tonight on Radio 1 with me, Benji B. Currently sitting, drinking a cup of tea.
Yeah.
With the one and only Mike Banks. Welcome to the studio, sir. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I've been meaning to do this for many years.
Yep. I've been kind of dodging you, I guess.
No.
You're a good guy, man, but, I'll be a little nervous about doing all this stuff, but let's do it.
The idea is to have exactly the sort of conversation that we normally do, but just with microphones.
With less cussing?
Yeah, slightly less cussing.
Yeah, all right.
I mean,
I'll do my best, brother. Yeah, get your beeper ready.
Mad Mike Banks in 2017. How are you, sir?
I'm good. A little tired. We've been doing a lot of construction down the street from where the Submerged Building is.
Yeah.
We building another building because we get so many people. It's like the Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. And mugs be showing up, man, and it's more things to do, more things to tell. But the thing is, man, the people paying too much money when they stay in the city, so we figured we'll build them somewhere they could stay.
So you just mentioned Submerged. For people that might be, new to this radio show or even to Underground Resistance or to yourself, can you explain what the Submerged Building is?
The main feature of it is we built it so that people in Detroit could learn about where the music got pioneered at, where the independent, electronic music labels evolved out of and what caused them. So we have a exhibit in there with featuring, Juan Atkins synthesizers and Derek Mays sequencer and stuff from me and Jeff's studio. And we do a tour. People come when they visit Detroit and they can tour the thing, and the guy explain to you what each case is. It mentions electrifying Mojo, because it's 35 years of electronic music now. And also the building houses up and coming talent that UR might use, guys that I think got it. I think the electronic music gives a lot of the guys that ain't athletic or thuggy or whatever you into, whatever. There's a lot of, stereotypes of black urban inner city folks, but, they never show black folks as nerds. And a lot of the guys be twisted up and frustrated, and they can come out with some music. And there's guys that they're just nobody looking for them. So UR is there. And if Drexia walk up or any of these guys that got ideas in their head, Gerald Mitchell, Robert Hood, we was always there to be like, okay, dude, you might have something.
There will come a time in your life when you will ask yourself a series of questions. Am I happy with who I am?
Am I happy with who I am?
Am I happy with the people around me?
Am I happy with the people around me?
Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Am I happy with the way my life is going?
Am I happy with the way my life is going?
Do I have a life?
Do I have a life?
Or am I just living?
Or am I just living?
Do not let these questions restrain or trouble you. Just point yourself in the direction of your dreams. Find your strength in the sound and make your transition.
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 time thinking and not enough doing? Did I try my hardest at any of my dreams? Did I purposely let others discourage me when I knew I could? Will I die never knowing what I could have been or could have done? Do not let these doubts restrain or trouble you. Just point yourself in the direction of your dreams. Find your strength in the sound and make your transition. Make your transition. Make your transition. There will be people who will say you can't, but you will.
You will.
There will be people who will say you don't mix this with that, and you will say, watch me.
Watch me.
There will be people who will say, play it safe, that's too risky, and you will take that chance and have no fear.
No fear.
You won't let these questions restrain or trouble you. You will point yourself in the direction of your dreams. You will find the strength in the sound and make your transition. Make your transition.
Haga tu transición.
Make your transition.
Haga tu transición.
Make your transition.
Haga tu transición. Haga tu transición.
Sometimes we have great success, and some of these guys go on to have a career in electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very proud of, the people we have brought along and shared what we know. Me and Jeff would always share what we knew, what we had learned, just like Juan shared with us. And Derek did, and Kevin did. So, each generation kind of passed it on. Kenny Dixon, I put his first record out. We had a hand in putting Jay Diller's, one of his Throw Your Hands in the Air. I funded that, all kind of guys, Theo, Omar, and some of the guys did it well. So I'm very proud of all of them. And I'm more proud of what we had a hand in helping folks. A lot of guys is their own man.
Yeah.
They got their own. They just need to know. And Kenny was like that. Omar was like that. And Theo was like that. They their own man. And they like, look, man, I don't really need to put nothing out with you, but how do you do this?
Yeah.
What's happening? And so I let them know. And we all real good friends. And I'm glad I got guys like that. Some guys as an artist, they need to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
But other guys is their own man. And they hold, like Rob Hood, clearly you could see you can't hold this guy on your label forever. He got too much music, just like Kenny Dixon. And the idea is like, look, man, we could break you, get you out there, and then you're going to have to run with it. And them guys did, because I'm not in the game to control nobody.
Sure.
You trying to control music is impossible. I think that by you are always being there, there is a door. It's a tough door because it's a lot of people come and I'll be like, nah, that ain't tight. That's a replication. That's a 16th generation of some shit I already heard. But, but every once in a while, a unique person to come up with something.
I remember you saying to me once about how also at Submerged with the producers in-house that sometimes people have started off with the most limited means. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And then like once you've mastered the broken drum machine, or maybe not literally, but once you've mastered the most limited means, then you're allowed onto stage 2 and so on and so on, something like that.
Yeah, it's less is more, man. And like me and Jeff, we came from the era where you use 4 or 5 pieces of hardware to create. The technology evolved. Some guys can't learn that much architecture. I mean, we had years and years and years to learn 909s, 808s, SP12, whatever, MPCs. Something may come along, and it's a piece of gear that can unleash a person's creative possibilities. It might just be one piece of gear. It doesn't make any sense to go out and buy a $8,000, modular synth and then crank all that up and then go out and sell 300 records. Obviously you're just a rich boy and just want to get out and DJ. For us, the records was a living. ARP 2600s and only people had them was Stevie Wonder and Keith Emerson.
Yeah.
Those type of boards weren't used. Everything the guys had and we had was pretty much pawn shop, used trader gear, nothing over $200. So Korg was they've been supporting UR for quite a while. And the one young man, Tatsua, he really was feeling it when I told him. I said, man, it's real ironic that, techno come from the hood, house come from the hood, hip hop come from the hood, but these manufacturers making all these $5,000 pieces of gear and guys in Berlin specialize in making modular stuff. It's almost like you taking the tools away from the creative people that invented, pioneered these genres of music. And so they kind of went backwards, man, and they made this little piece called the Voca sampler and the Voca series. They're little $160 pieces, and they're very dangerous tools in the hands of a poor person who ain't got a lot, but got a lot of creativity. one of the bigger problems we have with UR is I lose a lot of guys, man. You know, they get over there to Europe or England or somewhere, and it's they feel appreciated, they feel loved, man, and that's a hell of a feeling when you come from a place where it's love, but it's a different kind of love. You know, it's like the radio and like this thing that you do is more people interested in culture and how the music affects culture and the good things it can do for the rest of the world. And so cats, they get over here, they feel the love, and then they want their family to experience this thing. And next thing you know, they gone. You know what though? I ain't mad at it, because any man that have kids and a wife and a family, you know, your purpose is you want them to do better and you want them to see better. And number one, you want them to be safe. I got guys that have come over here, and when they return home, they depressed. They feel cheated. They know they was cheated in their education. Y'all can speak 2 and 3 languages. We could speak Marching 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there was a low expectation on what we were supposed to learn. So it's a very, very ironic situation for me.
Yeah.
Sitting there, because hey brother, I get tired too sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough to hang on. You know, my kids and stuff is still in there, and so I still gotta rush to their aid and defend people and do what we always had to do. But when somebody do make it and do well, the one thing I love about all my brothers, Kenny Dixon, Theo, Jeff Mills, Rob Hood, my man Carl Craig, when it's tight on me, they got me. Cause bro, it gets tight. You know, the heat need to be on, the electricity be off. You know, it's hard. And cats will come and holler. Like, Mike, why ain't no heat on, man? Here, man, come on, go on tour with me. Carl just come like, what you doing, man? It's cold in here. I'm like, yeah, heat ain't on. He's like, well, pack up, man. We going on tour. And you know, I don't, or Robert Hood, hey Mike, I want you to remix this record. I'm like, Rob, you don't need no remix from me, bro. You know, you doing it. He like, remix the record, Mike. You know, and pay me some crazy money, man. They're my boys, man. So, them brothers there, they all right. Now, some of them out there, they ain't never been in Detroit any damn way. They land there, stay there 6 months, 2 years, whatever. Claim Detroit, roll back to Berlin, and I always have faith in people's ears. You could hear some bullshit against some real shit. All you gotta do is listen hard enough. here's what I'm trying to do, dog. I'm trying to put high-tech music and high-tech dreams into low-tech areas. If mugs understand that technology can free them, if we can get that on the radio and pound that into their head, maybe cats can take an old PC, put it back together, get online, and find a job some damn where else. You see what I'm saying? My mission is to continue to work with Mojo. Mojo saved Detroit by putting high-tech dreams into kids' heads that people have wrote on.
So you mentioned Electrify Mojo right at the beginning of our conversation, and obviously his name comes up a lot. And for people that have no idea what you're talking about, who is Mojo?
Mojo is like the head monk at the Shaolin Temple. You ain't shit unless you train with him. And he musically blessed us with diversity and culture. And Detroit Techno is a direct result of electrifying Mojo's non-programmed style. He played what the city needed. He played what felt good. And in turn, he created Detroit Techno.
Radio 1 and 1 Extra.
It's more fun to compute. 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 It's more fun to compute.
Even with shame the major labels, he'd be like, why are y'all playing this to these kids? And, you know, it's one thing to make a hip hop record and talk all that shit. We have to live in that. I'm in love with the cocoa. And you would think for a city that's been bombarded with crack cocaine, Israeli and Chinese military weapons for the last 40 years, you think the radio would think to play something other. I mean, I ain't got no beef with my man with the cocoa, but why not Carl Craig too? You know, there's no diversity in the radio. And when Mojo was there was a massive diversity in the radio. Therefore, the citizens became massively diverse. David Bowie was on the radio. B-52s was on the radio. George Clinton's on the radio. Prince is on the radio. Man, we had the best radio in the world, and we didn't even know it.
BBC Radio 1 and 1 Extra.
Danger B.
I don't think none of us is geniuses. I think guys just played, after hearing all that, cats just played, made and played what was needed. So the city benefited. Gay people could walk the streets. People start wearing loud ass colors, and people was a little happier. I mean, come on, man. Rock Lobster was the jam. B-52s. That song took guys out of gang fight, man. You know, because cats was running around with striped shorts on, talking about down, down, down. You couldn't be hard listening to no shit like that. But it was so powerful, cats was like, man, shit is the jam, man. Women like it. I'm out of this shit. I'm with that. And it was that simple. The music can control the consciousness of large urban areas. And right now, our music is programming us to go to prison. When people ask me the dumbass question, like, why doesn't anybody in America know about you guys? It's like, well, dude, none of your companies over here who had that worldwide territory and the damn Mars in the contract had really even had enough money to do nothing in America anyway. That's why I told them, go to hell, man. I made more money with my race card than they probably had in their damn bank account. So I didn't need the damn money. I needed South Central to hear the high tech.
Yeah.
I needed Atlanta to hear the high tech.
Yeah.
I need South Side of Chicago, St. Louis, East St. Louis. I need all them low tech, low expectation areas to hear what we was hearing. And so far, to tell you the truth, UR is the biggest failure. So what about the rest of the world? Cool, I'm glad they got it. But our situation remains the same. So we ain't did shit as far as I'm concerned. That's why I'm always looking for new freak nasty to come through and hit these mugs. There's a lot of work left to do, man. It's a lot to resist.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people see the world situation right now. And America done took the mask off. That's why I took mine off.
listening to Radio 1 Late Night with me, Benji B, joined by the legend Mike Banks in the studio. If you think about what that moment of, the 808 in the pawn shop did for hip-hop in New York, electro, whatever you want to call it, and Cybertron, Model 501, and now I feel like everyone is trying to go back and make records that sound as good as Clear.
It's interesting you say that because I found with the hardware was kind of like a tight band, a music band.
Right.
A band is, like you said, man, James Brown band is so tight, or Monk's band is so loose and free, or it's different levels of swing.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And you get this computer generated track and all the shit is under one clock. It won't sound like the 5 instruments Juan was making or the 3-4 instruments me and Jeff was using.
Yeah.
Those things had different clocks from different companies, and in the oddest way, they were small Led Zeppelins and Aerosmiths or James Brown bands. You find your combination. The drum machines, just like a drummer in a good band, some of them is super tight, some of them is loose. But if you run Ableton or Reason or Logic, and you never knew that, or you never played in a band and you didn't know that the bass player, he's always a little late, and the guitar players, if you never knew these things about production or music, then you hit go and all your tracks are on the same clock, and Mike Banks will hear your shit and tell you it's weak.
Benji B.
Radio 1 and 1 Extra.
Joined by Mike Banks in the studio tonight. It's Benji B on Radio 1. And I read somewhere recently that you were moving a lot of music to Bandcamp or something as a result of problems with vinyl pressing.
Yeah, it's a temporary thing, man. My sister got sick, and she worked so hard, man, and so she couldn't keep up. And the vinyl situation was at the point where we were like 6 months to get a record back, sometime 8 months. And you float the money out there to manufacture the thing. 8 months later, you get to put it out, and then 4 months after that, distributor pay you. So it's almost a little bit past a year before you see some money for it. So I just decided to give her a break and say, Bridge, take a break, because I ain't nothing more important than my family, man. A guy put in an order for something, and it takes us 8 months to get it to him. And he's like, what's going on? And my sister, very, very sensitive. We got customers like my man Front Row Boz. What's up, Boz? Shout out. But them guys will wait for that record. They love music, and they understand the pain that goes into actually manufacturing one. So they wait. It's no thing. But some of the younger folks, they want it right now because everything comes through, and they would complain and make noise about it. And it would really worry my sister and worried her to the point where she was getting sick. So I said, you know what, the hell with it. We just put the records in the store, and when the people get here, they get here. And until further notice, that's kind of like where they gonna be. I don't make records because they pay all my bills. I make them because I like to make them. I work on cars, I build, do construction, renovation. I make money any kind of different way, but it ain't imperative that we put records out so people can buy them. If they want to come by the store and visit and pick up something odd or something strange, that's cool too. That way we can meet them and talk to them, and they can get their record instantly. I hand it right to your hand.
What was the moment of inception for you where you were like, we're going to do this thing called Underground Resistance? And what was the blueprint at that time?
I think it's when Jeff left the radio, and I was tired of doing sessions, playing on fake music.
And what was your instrument on those sessions?
Guitar, or sometimes synth, but my main instrument is guitar. The songs just start happening, and we both figured that major radio wasn't doing us no favors and wasn't doing the city no favors.
Yeah.
So we opted for Underground Resistance, and we decided to fight fake commercial music and try to come out with some really authentic music that would inspire other people to make authentic music.
Yeah.
And I think on the inspiration tip, we did pretty good. Money wise, we ain't do too good. But hey, man, Jeff out there doing the thing. But hey, we still there.
If authenticity and like credibility was a currency, we'd be having this conversation on the Underground Resistance yacht, wouldn't we? It's like in the currency of credibility and authenticity, there is no higher logo to see, is there, than the UR logo?
I don't know, man.
But so
I appreciate that, but I always, I try to. Hey, man, the reality is urban reality. That's the reality. If I get sick right now, I don't have health care, but I got people on TV telling me health care is bad for you. If it wasn't for Obamacare, we wouldn't have caught what my sister had just now. And that's what Obama was saying, that preventative. If you prevent, she had real bad high blood pressure. We wouldn't have known. So if you prevent that, she don't end up in the hospital costing you more down the line. So I don't know what people don't get about it, but a lot of times, man, I play for the health care. The coroner set me up a checkup or something. Scandinavia or France or something, that's the gig money. And at least I got a readout of what's wrong with me, which is pretty much a lot. But yeah, man, that's the reality, man. I just hope that we inspire other young people who is the most important. I mean, you're making electronic music, and it's science, sci-fi based futurism. Young people is the future. So if my words is hitting people and inspiring them, the more that they don't accept major label contracts and major label bullshit, and they make their own stuff and figure a way to get it out there, the less bullshit you gotta listen to.
having been in the industry long enough to see it evolve 1 or 2 generations, musically speaking, the last 30 years, like, how do you feel from the Resistance point of view that how have you seen the landscape change compared to, you know?
Rich boys can get in the game because they could buy a publicist. And like I said, brilliant writers can dress up a bullshit track. And if you stupid, you'll buy it. You have to trust your ears. If it sound like bullshit, tastes like bullshit, it's probably some bullshit. If guys keep it real, keep it dirty, and come in low and hard with the Freak Nasty, it's nothing that can stop the Freak Nasty, man, because there's too many people out there that got some real serious issues and they need some serious music that's gonna tone their heart out and make them leave in peace.
You're listening to Benji B.
Detroit music is small place music. It's kind of involved, and I think as it spreads, I think the closeness of the notes gets lost. The bigger the place, the less notes you got to use. We make the nasty shit, big industrial shit that people don't like to look at. But, you know, and they complain about it's polluting the world, but your ass is steady using it, ain't you? Till you figure out better, we got you. So, yeah, I like to think of you are that way. Poor folks get a hold of technology. They got to be creative. That's how they got. That's how they still there. So it's middle class poor folks. They like, oh, I can do this with it. Boom, you know. And it's disappointing, I know, to a lot of writers when they ask a guy, why did you make electronic music? Some people, man, Mike and them was getting paid. Why was getting, so I just did it too. But that is an impetus, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, dog, I need to do something because I don't want to go to the plant. I think if music gets so intellectual that it becomes, it sounds intellectual, it sounds safe. You know, intellectualism is a balance, you know, it's a logical. Techno music is exciting. It's very exciting. You know, I know Goldie, Digo, Gerald, they always would say, man, that shit is exciting, man. And they made some exciting music.
Yep.
And I was at the end and I saw the jungle music going down. I saw how exciting it was. It reminded me of, you know, our topless bars. It's exciting, you know, and or when the kids is jitting, and it's exciting, you know. So sometimes you need excitement. Like that's why I always tell people, you think Detroit techno something, you want to see something exciting, come down there and see them cars, see them mechanics art. Them cars got souls in them. And to a young bad boy like myself and my other friends, hell with gang fighting. That ain't shit compared to these cars. Mono to mono, dude. Let's do this.
So when you said mono to, just to explain what Mike is talking about, when you say mono to mono,
man to man,
there's a very long, rich history of car racing in Detroit.
Yeah.
And tell us about your day.
I had fun. That's all I'm gonna say. I did everything legally correct, and my car was legal. I always asked people, could I race? And I was a good guy. And I encouraged other kids to be good guys, to go to the racetrack, just like I told Omar, go to the racetrack. And they all abided by what we were good guys. And we're hoping that the mayor will make a racetrack so we could continue to be good guys and ambassadors for our city.
Benji B Radio Show.
Joined by Mike Banks in the studio tonight. It's Benji B on Radio 1. Tell us about some of the artists that you are right now and some of the people that, you know, we should look out for that you're releasing their music or supporting their careers.
Well, I got this one guy. He's quite strange. He's, like I say, he's warped, twisted up pretty bad. He got a lot to say, but he ain't got no mouth to say it. Everything comes out his hands, so through these machines. So I'm hoping me and him could get along good and don't be fighting and getting into it. I think his music is above me and his differences or whatever. His name's Gerald Brunson, and I'm really hoping to work with him. Of course, John Dixon, he's coming, man. Flash, who's a veteran, but Flash is really bringing the noise. I got a guy in Detroit, Tommy Cool, that's really working hard in there, trying to get down. We also kicking it with Sheefy McFly. He had a album on Kenny Dixon's Hookup, and Sheefy might move into the building, and we're gonna see what he could do. But we need labels. You know, UR don't need no more artists. We need, Detroit needs labels. I think we add the excitement in it. These guys got nothing to lose, so when they do a track like what you listen to, my man got shit to lose. So he's not trying to impress Berlin or make the latest house music for Paris or some boogie. He it's just this thing that I know other people will hear that it's not desperation, but it's at the edge of desperation. And I listen for that because that has a sound. If they fortunate enough to make music, well, I could be like, dude, get that out your head and twist that shit up into this vinyl. And maybe you could help out some other sad ass bastard like yourself. A lot of the artists that I've had, I think the music saved them. Whether they did good or not, or went to Europe or whatever. I don't know which wave of Detroit this is now. But whatever surf wave they coming on, I hope people can get with it and search it out, because I'm kind of almost sure that we won't be able to press a big amount of copies like how we used to do. It's so hard. So, they're going to have to, they can always come to submerged.com and try to find it, man. And I hope, or just bring your ass to Detroit. I mean, I think it'll be special if people do come, or they can all ante up. You put your money in, send some dude over with a suitcase full of records and come back with a real bomb. You know what I'm saying? So, and tear their ass up over here.
BBC Radio 1 and 1 Extra.
Mike, thank you for giving us all this time, man. From what everyone's telling me that I know that lives in the city, Detroit, I haven't been in 2 years, and even in that small amount of time, it's changed almost to a point where some people don't recognize same neighborhoods, and it's changing fast at the moment, isn't it, Detroit?
My man Fab Five Freddy, he dropped it on me. In Brooklyn, they call them settlers. And at the end of the day, the preliminary neighbors are great. The urban farmers and the painters and the steampunks, and they're great. They're nice people. But as soon as a developer gets an eye that, yo, man, hold up. They allowed in that neighborhood? Oh, yeah? Well, why don't we develop a few homes in there on some of that vacant property or almost vacant property or some of that struggling property? So the great irony is your parents worked their ass off to give you a house over your head. You got a bit of a roof. You struggle every year to pay the taxes. You can't really repair nothing. And then the city got this thing called the land banking. Where they like, well, hey man, your neighborhood is your house isn't up to spec, and it's an eyesore. Hold up, dog. I've stayed here 40 years and the whole damn thing was an eyesore. The whole time I've been here. I'm doing the best I can. Well, we're going to have to fine you for this. You're going to have to bring this up to code. And in other words, get the fuck out. And we want to lay this development down. And the natives get pushed out. It's happening in Brooklyn. It's, if it was just happening in one place, you would kind of think it's not, maybe it's just a coincidence, but Oakland, California, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Detroit, and it's a shame because the people they're using is people that actually love hip hop, like techno, and they come down to these places because, they tired of that suburban, that unexciting suburban life. So I think the young, progressive, liberal white kids, they need to wake up and know that treachery is older than them. And it could, no matter how many college degrees you got, if you got no street skills and no street knowledge, you can be used too. They so busy trying to save us that they don't see that they actually the ones contributing to the death of a neighborhood. This is the second time I've had to move because of development. And I feel like we one of the cultural icons of the city. And that's why I appreciated the words you said, a legend or a historic label or whatever we did. But that shit ain't worth a hill of beans, man, if they want to make a whole bunch of money. And that's why I said, money before culture. And it's a dangerous thing. So I hope the message of all this, what we talked about, I hope the young people will resist corporate entities that want to control your art, your culture, and your music. I really hope y'all get it, because if you don't, you'll be living in Detroit soon too.
Mike Banks, thank you very much.
No problem, brother.